have a really crazy off-the-wall question.
Go ahead.
I was working in the Brill building about a year ago, and you were getting on the elevator, and I was behind you guys, you and Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, we were going up to do this
and
movie.
You were having this hushed, serious conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really straining.
You were in the elevator?
You guys were getting on the elevator. I was like right behind you.
That's hilarious.
And I was straining to hear this conversation because you were dressed like you just came from Wall Street, and he was all ghetto thugged out. It was a strange
I have a very interesting relationship with him. I love that.
And so what were you guys talking about? That's what I want to know.
In incredibly hushed tone.
I said, in a year from now, I'm going to run into Saget, and I'm going to ask him, what the hell were they talking about?
We were actually, a lot of the stuff we all talk about, when I say we all, it's like comedians.
Right.
You'll grab one of your persons that it's like, he and I feel like we're kind of like brothers separated at chromosomes. But usually it's about life and about, when things happen to you too fast and how do you stay on track. And I'm sure that's what it was about. It was just about, a lot of the conversations that I've had with him always come from, you got to be real. And then you also got to take care of yourself and take care of your people. So
it really looked intense. It was
I have a very interesting, I have a very close relationship with him. I care about him.
Fatherly toward him.
I feel very close to him.
Oh, that's good.
It was interesting. I was in New York City, and I was promoting the Penguin thing about 3 months ago.
Right.
And or 2 months ago, and I was on Conan O'Brien. And my dad had been very ill, and was going through hospice care. And I got off the show, and I'm getting in the car, and we're going to the Penguin party, the Penguin release party, which was basically Lewis Black, Tracy Morgan, Gilbert Gottfried, and then some people from Think Film, and then it ended up in the press because of us partly, but Ashley Mary Kate showed up because my father passed away. And I found out when I got off Conan, like an hour later, couldn't catch a flight. It was like, shit, booked the next morning, canceled the rest of the press tour. Didn't know what to do. Said, do I go to the party? Do I not go to the party? I was like, what the fuck? These are my friends. I'm going to go. And then I texted Ashley and said, my dad just died. Where are you? We're coming there. So anyway, it's just
cool. I got
cool people in my life. And Tracy was there, and we were just, and Lewis too. Lewis, actually, I couldn't go on O&A the next day. And Opie and Anthony, and Lewis did it for me. And Lewis did an in-store appearance for me. I mean, it was like, friendships like that don't.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
They don't happen a lot.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of what that conversation.
I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I know that it was about. Those are usually the areas.
Yeah, you guys were going into the elevator, and it kind of closed before I could get in.
Yeah. It was funny because I got in his car and he was driving me. It was another night. We did another session and he was driving me around.
So you guys were doing Penguins at that point, right?
Yeah, we were starting. That was our first recording session in the Brill building. And then we had another session like 6 months later because I had to clean up the movie as we were finishing it up and rewrote it, did all this shit to it. And Tracy picks me up and I said, can you drop me in my hotel? And we get in his car. And he goes, oh, we ain't going home, Bobby. Listen, Tracy, I got to go home. No, we're going to take a little drive. And he just kind of drove me around New York, and we talked for a while. But it was really, he just kills me because that's him, He is who he is, and I can't look at him and not laugh. He just makes me laugh.
I know. Some people are like that, right?
Yeah. That's truly funny people.
So we're almost at the end here, I think. Sorry to hear about your dad.
Yeah, thanks.
I lost my dad a couple years ago, too.
I'm sorry. It's an age thing that happens to us, but...
I know, right?
Were you close with your dad?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky, because, a lot of people aren't.
I mean, he was one of those World War II guys, though,
Wow.
So that was... he never quite understood what I was all about,
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was all cool, So now here's a couple more quick questions here. So when you're an off-duty comedian, do you lead a normal life?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I do when I'm with my kids, and we'll just like do what we do. We'll watch TV and we'll make dinner, and we'll go out to dinner. And we do Sunday night dinner with my mother. And we used to take my dad. We joked that we would take him anyway. Like we get to Bernie, you just keep taking him. But, we do a lot of family stuff. Like last night, we had the holiday dinner, or doing it the night. I have a great girlfriend, and we're like, and everybody like gets along and all that stuff. So I mean, to that side of it, the family side of it, yeah. But then, I have this career where I'll go and go do some stand-up dates, and it's not a regular reality for a lot of people. You're
Right.
also in a heightened state when you're doing it.
Right.
And I operate more on adrenaline than a lot of other. If I don't have it, it's not just some switch I turn on where I just recite the same set.
Right.
Because no matter how I do the set that I'm doing, it's just not the way it is. And there's other things that are easy. Like the 1 versus 100 is a relatively easy gig, and if they left in all the stuff that I said, it would probably either go through the roof in ratings and have to bleep me the whole time, or people would be really offended because there is stuff that I said that should be, that's maybe too misogynistic for the air.
Right.
But it's a different kind of, performing is what it is. So it's not regular. There is no regular life when you're an actor or director or comedian,
Right.
But as far as regular life goes, but then again, if someone's a lawyer or a doctor, I mean, I went through a lot of crap with my dad's illness, and doctors were like, they're insane, and some of them are just complete rock stars. They're like,
yeah, right.
They're up all night, and they're like, call me, but it's July 4th, and you're going to be on vacation. I don't care if you're bleeding internally, call me.
Right.
So that's not,
So that kind of leads me to another interesting question. Do people always expect you to be funny, even at moments when you're not supposed to be? Like if you're in a hospital waiting room?
Yeah, sometimes it can be inappropriate with anybody well-known, where they come up to you and go, that happened to me with my dad,
Right.
Oh, I love you on your show, and it's like, we're literally outside of a hospice room,
Right.
And it's like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
You give me an ice pack for my dad's passing. But they don't mean any harm, and they mean well. So I don't ever find it inappropriate unless, it can be inappropriate, but I don't get offended by it unless it's infringing on my kids.
Right.
Or they come over and sometimes they'll grab my daughters and go, "What's it like having it?" But the other thing is, if as soon as someone tells you to be funny, you're done. I don't tell me a joke or I'll do an interview and they'll go.
That's sort of my next question. Like, what are some of the dumbest things people have said to you when they see you on the street?
I didn't know you were funny is always hurtful. I didn't know you were funny. I didn't know you were tall is another one. I'm like, well, my standard is, the TV is very tiny,
Right, exactly. Yeah, you are pretty tall. I remember when I was trying to crane my neck to hear you.
See? You have to get on a step stool in order just to hear this conversation.
Yeah. So here's another thing I noticed about you, that you've always, though, actually been cool in all the decades, because you always had the right kind of hairdo. You were the only guy in Full House.
No, I had a
mullet.
I had a bouffant, though.
On Full House?
Yeah. And the video show. Only in the beginning, and then it got normal.
Yeah, but I think you saw the light pretty quickly and adjusted yourself.
Yeah, I had to keep shorter hair. I started to learn about continuity, in time. You don't want your hair to be in that too progressive a style. Dave had a haircut like the bad guy in Superman.